I'm Alex Harper, and my world used to be painted in vibrant hues. Jenna's laughter was the brightest color of all, a beacon in my gray, mundane days. But lately, a shadow has crept into our suburban home, dimming the light I thought was unbreakable. I never imagined that stepping into my own kitchen after a long day would unravel everything I held dear, exposing a secret so raw it burned my soul. What I saw that night, hidden just beyond the doorway, shattered my trust stand, left me questioning if I ever truly knew the woman I married. Stick around, because what happened next will leave you speechless. Picture this: the world outside my window is a muted gray. Not because of the weather, but because that's how I've started to see everything lately. A haze that clings to every thought, every moment. I'm Alex Harper, 32 years old, and I've been trying to figure out where the color went. I'm not sure when it started fading, but I know I'm still searching for it, somewhere in the cracks of my life. I've got a decent job as a graphic designer, working from home most days, sketching out logos and layouts while the world hums quietly beyond my office door. It's steady, it pays the bills, but it doesn't fill the spaces that ache for something more. I've been married to Jenna Harper for 6 years now. Jenna, she's the kind of person who can walk into a room and make it feel like the sun just broke through the clouds. She's 30, with this wild, untamed energy that I felt for the first time I saw her at a local art gallery, arguing passionately about a painting I didn't even understand. Her hair's this deep chestnut that catches the light just right. And her laugh. God, it's the kind of sound that could pull you out of the darkest hole. We've built a life together in our little suburban home just outside the city. A place with creaky floors and a backyard that's more weeds than grass. But it's ours. She's a freelance photographer, always chasing the perfect shot, lugging her camera everywhere like it's an extension of her soul. Then there's my best friend, Tobin Wells. He's been in my corner since we were kids, the kind of guy who I'd push open the front door of our little suburban home, the familiar creak of the hinges greeting me like an old friend. The world outside might be gray, but stepping inside, I'm wrapped in the warmth of our cozy, open-plan space. The smell of coffee lingers in the air, rich and comforting, like a quiet reminder of mornings spent with Jenna over hurried breakfasts. I shrug off my jacket, hanging it on the rack by the door, and that's when I hear it bright, bubbling laughter spilling out from the kitchen. It's the kind of sound that could pierce through any fog in my head, pulling a faint smile to my lips even after the long, draining day I've had. I ease my way toward the kitchen, my sneakers silent on the worn hardwood floor, and peek around the corner. There she is, sitting at our small, scratched-up kitchen table, her auburn hair tied back in a messy bun that's half falling apart. Her face is lit up with this wide, infectious smile, and she's gesturing wildly with her hands, telling some story I can't quite hear. Across from her, Marcus leans back in his chair, his deep chuckle rumbling through the room, while Devin nods along, sipping from a glass of red wine. A half-empty bottle sits on the counter, catching the soft glow of the overhead light. They're so engrossed in whatever they're talking about. It's like the rest of the world doesn't exist. I feel a small pang of exhaustion tug at me, the weight of deadlines and endless revisions from today's work still clinging to my shoulders. But I don't want to interrupt. Jenna deserves this, her time with friends. I decide to slip away from the lively scene in the kitchen, not wanting to break the spell of Jenna's laughter. I head to my office down the hall, the faint hum of their voices fading behind me as I settle into my chair. I pop in my headphones, letting the steady beat of my playlist drown out the world for a while. I've got a project to finish, some last-minute tweaks to a client's design, and I lose myself in the lines and colors. On the screen, time slips by, maybe an hour, maybe more, until I finally pull the headphones off, rubbing the back of my neck to ease the stiffness. That's when I hear a strange, muffled sound cutting through the quiet. It's coming from the kitchen. A cry or maybe a scream, sharp and unsettling. My heart kicks into overdrive, a sudden jolt of adrenaline spiking through me. I stand up, my chair scraping loudly against the hardwood floor, the noise jarring in the stillness. For a split second, I freeze, wondering if I'm just imagining things, if my tired mind is playing tricks. But then I hear it again, louder this time, and there's no mistaking the edge of distress in it. I start moving, my steps slow and cautious as I make my way down the hallway. It feels longer than it should, like the walls are stretching out, just to mess with me. My palms are slick with sweat, and I press one hand against the wall for balance, my fingers trembling slightly. The sounds grow clearer with every step, more distinct. And I realize it's Jenna's voice, high-pitched, urgent, almost like she's in pain. My mind races with 100 possibilities. Is she hurt? Did something happen with Marcus or Devin? Maybe they're arguing, or worse. I try to brace myself, but nothing could prepare me for what's waiting on the other side of that doorway. I reach the kitchen, my breath shallow, and stop just before stepping into view. What I see hits me like a punch to the gut. Jenna is there, perched on the counter, her clothes rumpled and out of place, tangled up with Marcus and Devin in a way that leaves no room for misinterpretation. My heart stops, the world tilting under. My feet as I fumble for my phone, my hands shaking so badly I nearly drop it. I hit record, capturing the scene unfolding before me, a twisted dance of betrayal that I can't tear my eyes away from. Every sound, every movement burns itself into my memory, a scar I know I'll carry forever. I stand there, frozen in the doorway, until the weight of it all becomes too much, and I force myself to turn away, my stomach churning with a mix of rage and nausea. I stumble back down the hallway, my legs barely holding me up, the phone still clutched in my hand like a lifeliner, maybe a curse. I make it to my office nook, collapsing into the chair, the darkness of the room swallowing me whole. My breath comes in ragged gasps as I sit there, staring at the black screen of my phone, the video waiting like a venomous secret. I tap play, unable to stop myself, needing to confirm that what I saw wasn't some sick hallucination. The grainy footage flickers to life, and there it is again, Jenna, Marcus, and Devin, caught in a moment so intimate, so wrong that it twists the knife deeper into my chest. I watch it over and over, each replay fueling the storm inside, me anger crashing against hurt, disbelief warring with the raw, undeniable truth. I want to storm back out there, to scream, to demand answers, but I can't. Not while there. Still here. I'm not ready to face that confrontation, not yet. Hours drag by, each minute an eternity as I sit in the dark. My thoughts, a chaotic mess. Finally, I hear the faint sound of voices, Marcus and Devin. Their tones, casual, almost cheerful, as they call out goodbyes to Jenna. Her laughter, light and carefree, echoes down the hall, a sound that once warmed me, but now feels like a slap. I hear the front door open and close, the click of the lock as she secures it behind them. She's alone now, but I can't bring myself to move. I stay in the dark of my office nook, the weight of what I've seen pressing down on me like a physical force when I hear Jenna's footsteps coming down the hall. They're soft, tentative, like she's not sure if I'm even here. My heart is a hammer in my chest, each beat echoing in my ears as I brace myself for what's coming. She calls my name, her voice gentle but laced with something I can't quite place, guilt maybe, or fear. I don't answer. I can't. Not yet. But she finds me anyway, her silhouette filling the doorway, the dim light from the hall casting shadows across her face. She steps inside, and I can feel the air shift, heavy with unspoken words. We end up at the kitchen table, the same scratched-up surface where I saw her laughing just hours ago. now a battleground for whatever this conversation is about to become. There's a coffee mug in front of her, steam curling lazily into the air, and the silence between us stretches tight like a wire ready to snap. Then, the sharp clink of porcelain against wood as she sets the mug down, her eyes locking onto mine. They're searching, pleading almost, waiting for me to say something, anything, about what I walked in on earlier. My throat feels like it's lined with sandpaper, and I can't look away from her gaze, even though every part of me wants to. My heart is pounding so hard I'm sure she can hear it. A flood of emotions crashes over me, betrayal, sharp and bitter. Cutting through the trust I thought we'd built over 6 years. Curiosity, unwanted but undeniable, gnawing at the edges of my mind about why she'd crossed that line. Disgust rolling in my stomach as I replayed the scene I stumbled upon. The way she was tangled up in a moment that wasn't meant for me. And then, worst of all, this strange, twisted intrigue. Dark whisper, asking if there's something I'm missing, something I don't understand about her, about us. I think about those 6 years, the late-night talks. The way she'd curled the days after that tense kitchen table conversation with Jenna dragged on like a slow-motion nightmare. I couldn't shake the weight of what I'd seen, what I'd felt, and the decision I'd somehow stumbled into agreeing to. The planned encounter with Marcus and Devon loomed ahead. A dark cloud on the horizon, and every morning I woke up with a knot in my gut that wouldn't unravel. Anxiety clawed at me, gnawing at my thoughts, making my hands shake as I tried to sketch out designs on my laptop. I threw myself into work like it was a lifeline, taking on extra projects, staying up until the early hours tweaking layouts and color schemes. Anything to keep my mind from wandering back to that moment in the kitchen or the one yet to come. But no amount of distraction could drown out the dread that pulsed beneath every forced smile I gave Jenna. She, on the other hand, seemed to glow with a kind of energy I hadn't seen in months. I'd catch her in the living room, phone pressed to her ear, laughing and planning details with Marcus and Devon. Her voice bright and eager as she discussed things I couldn't bear to overhear. She'd flash me a smile, oblivious to the way I felt like a ghost in my own home, drifting through rooms that no longer felt like mine. I'd nod, mumble something vague, and retreat to my office again, the door shut tight behind me. Each fleeting interaction with her was a reminder of the chasm growing between us, a divide I didn't know how to bridge or if I even wanted to. When the day finally arrived, I felt like I was walking through fog, every step heavy and surreal. I stood in the hallway once more, that same cursed spot where I'd first seen everything fall apart. Watching as the scene unfolded in a way I'd agreed to but couldn't truly accept. I won't paint the picture of what happened. Some moments are better left to the imagination, but I can tell you how it felt. I was detached, like I'd stepped outside my own body, hovering somewhere above myself, watching a stranger stand there, hollow and numb. There was no thrill, no connection. Just don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.